and we will get right to it. Looks like we're online. Looks like everything. All right, good. Good. Looks like everything is looking good. Let me check the channel, make sure we're live there. Make sure we are alive and well. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, there we go. Now we're looking good. Let me pull this up here. Yeah, it's a little choppy on the road, guys. Simply because of the I don't have access to my all of my toys. I don't have access to the kind of toys that I do at home. At any rate, what's up, guys? It's your man Donovan Sharpe. I am coming to you live from Miami, Florida. I'm actually streaming this. I'm actually using my iPhone 13 camera to stream this. I hooked it up. It goes right into the computer, and so yeah. So it looks like I get a pretty good. Looks like I get a pretty good picture with this. Let me know, guys, if the sound is blown out too much, because when I listen back, sometimes it sounds a little bit too blown up, and I have a very loud voice. My voice carries. My voice carries big time. But I am freshly out of the shower. Just your boy just lined up his hair. Got my beard game on point for that. I was going to be on Fresh and Fit after hours, but once again, Myron and Fresh are dealing with some nonsense. Let's see what. All right, Dev just shot me a text message. Okay, she says the sound is good. Okay, good. Good. All right, sound is good. So long as I don't get too loud or too excited, I think we're good to go. But so what I'm doing here in Miami before we get started is this, of course, is the site of the CME. I am going to be touring. I'm going to be touring a few of the venues that I have in mind out here, and I will make my final decision probably, I would say, by Tuesday or Wednesday. We're looking to move on this thing very, very quickly. We've let the powers that be out here in the 305 know and understand that, hey, we got the money, we got the funds, we got the audience, et cetera. And so I am very, very much looking forward to that, as are you. Pardon me. Thank you guys very, very much for tuning in. We are going to open up the phone lines later. We are going to open up the phone lines a little bit later because there are several things I would actually like to get your opinions on. I'd like to get your thoughts on some of the things that we will talk about. Pardon me. I want to get your opinion on some of the things that we are going to talk about today, not the least of which is Miss Khalifa getting back into the business. There we go. Mia Khalifa getting back into the business. But first, let's go to. So we're going to go to these here stories, and let me take down the call-in number. So the first thing we're going to, and I'm going to go through all these just briefly, and I want to get your opinions on a lot of these different things. Let me just make sure. All right. Okay, perfect. There it is. Okay, so that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Yes, we are absolutely going to talk about that. Absolutely. So we're going to go to the left. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is apparently a new video has surfaced. It appears to show, as you guys can see on your screen, Jada Pinkett laughing with Will Smith after Will Smith hits Chris Rock. It's this new footage from inside the Dolby Theater. Pardon me. From inside of the Dolby Theater, Jada Pinkett Smith's reaction after Will Smith hitting Chris Rock at the Oscars. A second video going viral shows Rock in the aftermath of the assault. So we're gonna let me. I'm not gonna turn. I'm gonna mute the sound here. So let me go ahead and hit the play button. And so as you guys can see, this is the story. I'll go full screen with it. So I'll give you a play-by-play. Yeah, new footage. Blah 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 blah. There's Will Smith hitting Chris Rock with the look on Chris Rock's. I don't know. You know what's funny? I've been hit in the face many, many times. I would love to know what I look like right after I get hit in the face. Chris Rock, it almost, and listen, we know this wasn't staged by now. We know this clearly was not staged. A lot of people can make an argument that this was not. But if you look at Chris Rock, it's almost like he's still in shock. You know, oh yeah, by the way, fair use. It almost looks like he is in shock. But pardon me. But so after, let's take a look at what happened afterwards in the aftermath. So there you go. He hits Chris Rock. Chris Rock is like, "What the hell?" Right? And so the video continues. So here is Will Smith walking off with this little strut. And listen, by the way, Chris Rock, he was a pro's pro, man. He handled that about as well as anyone could have handled it in that situation. So when Rock tells the audience that Will Smith just smacked the bleep out of me, it appears as if Jada Pinkett Smith laughs. Let's look. Look at her. He said it. Look. See? And this is when Will Smith, that of course is when Will Smith is, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth, blah, 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 blah. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a tough one, man. I don't think that Will Smith is going to live this down. When I do open up the phone lines, guys, listen, if you have something on Will Smith, that's fine. But this has been talked about and done to death. They're even joking about it on ESPN. But whatever. It was listen, man, Will Smith looks bad. We'll figure out what the tour looks like. Let's go to our next story. Oh, look at this. Now this is very, very interesting. This was put on Gizmodo, Tech, Science, and Culture. The article is entitled, quote, "A birth control pill for men could start human trials this year." This is big time. It says the non-hormonal pill was 99% effective at preventing pregnancy in mice, new research found. So apparently there are going to be some new human trials. So scientists are still racing to create the first male contraceptive that isn't a condom or surgery. In new preliminary research, a team says they've developed a non-hormonal form of male birth control, one that kept lab mice sterile for 4 to 6 weeks with seemingly no side effects. Early human trials of the pill are expected to begin by the end of the year. The proposed contraceptive is the product of researchers at the University of Minnesota who says it works by targeting how our bodies interact with vitamin A, known to be essential to fertility in mammals. Diets deficient in vitamin A have been linked to sterility, for instance. After a lengthy search, they found an experimental compound that blocks a protein responsible for binding to a form of vitamin A, looks like retinoic acid, in our cells known as retinoic acid. Receptor alpha RAR is one of 3 proteins with a similar function. The hope is that its selective blocking is enough to induce long-lasting but reversible sterility while causing little to no off-target selects or effects elsewhere. There are other potential birth control treatments closer to fruition in clinical trials already, though it's been a long and difficult road to get there. Most of these proposed options work by targeting testosterone, which could come with unwanted side effects like higher cholesterol or lower sex drive. The UMN, University of Minnesota team, thinks their treatment could skate past these concerns, which could make it a more appealing option, according to lead researcher MD Abdullah Al Norman, a graduate student in medicinal chemistry at the university. He says here, since men do not have to suffer the consequences of pregnancy, oh my God, this is unbelievable. The threshold for side effects from birth control pills is rather low, Norman told Gizmodo in an email. That's why we're trying to develop non-hormonal birth control pills to avoid hormonal side effects. So far, the compound, dubbed GPHR 529, seems to work as intended. In new data presented Wednesday at the spring meeting of the American Chemical Society, the team found that male mice dosed with the treatment for 4 weeks consistently experienced a sharp drop in sperm count and became sterile. Overall, GPHR 529 was estimated to be 99% effective in preventing pregnancy with no noticeable side effects, and after 4 to 6 weeks after they stopped taking it, the male mice were no longer sterile. Other research of theirs in animals has similarly shown that inhibiting RARA should be safe and effective at inducing temporary male sterility. This all looks promising so far, but clinical trials are the definitive test for the safety of any drug candidate, Norman noted. The team has since licensed GPHR 529 to the company Your Choice Therapeutics for further development, and should things go as planned, they hope to start early stage clinical trials in people by the latter half of the year. The UMN team is also still working to identify other promising candidates, both in case GPHR 529 doesn't pan out and to improve their existing concept, which could allow them to get the same contraceptive at a lower dose. Elsewhere, the male contraceptive Gel NS/T, which lowers levels of sperm and natural testosterone, but then supplements its own testosterone to reduce side effects, is rounding the corner. A larger scale phase 2B trial of the gel is expected to be completed in early 2023, though more trials will be needed for FDA approval. I think that's probably Vassal Gel. This is an interesting development. You guys all know that women are in full control of which babies get born and which babies do not. Women are in full control of the male reproductive rights and female reproductive rights. Well, if men could take this hormonal birth control, now guess what? Now we have a contraceptive, and we can decide whether or not we want to have children with a girl that we're banging. What this does, guys, this I don't even want to say effectively. If this works, and listen, this is 2022. Eventually, there's going to be a non-hormonal male birth control. What this is going to do is this is literally going to take the power out of females. Listen, women have had a stronghold on reproductive power for decades. Ever since the advent of female hormonal birth control, women have been able to decide which babies get born and which do not. Obviously there's Noitroba, spelled backwards. That's obviously never a good option, but if conception never happens in the first place, you are in the clear. So what this means, guys, that if you take this pill and all of a sudden now you're sterile, you get to decide when you're ready to have kids. You don't get to, listen, how many stories have we heard about women baby trapping men? I remember reading this one article. I think this woman was in her, late 30s, early 40s, something like that. But it was like a short blog post. She's like, yeah, well, I've been having sex with this guy for XYZ amount of months, and I've always been on birth control, and we've never had a scare, but I stopped taking it, and I didn't let him know. Now I'm pregnant, and he doesn't know that his life is about to be turned upside down, but I don't know if I want him. Like, well, wait a minute. So, and guys, this is not uncommon. Women the world over stop taking birth control unbeknownst to the guy they're sleeping with, and surprise, now we have a baby. And then of course, if a man doesn't have any say, a man does not have any say in terms of what happens, right? If you tell the girl, don't get a Noitroba, my body, my choice. But then if she turns around and gets a Noitroba, unbeknownst to you, still my body, my choice. Well, what this does is this gives us the power. Now, in order for conception to happen, the male and the female both have to be fertile and consenting adults. So I think that this, checkmate. The Steel Curtain says, this could represent a seismic power shift in the sexual marketplace as far as that dynamic goes. So stay tuned for that. I would love to get your thoughts on this when I open up the phone lines here shortly. Our next story, oh boy, Fran Drescher, aka the nanny. Hold on, let Let me move this out of the way. Oh, actually, I don't have to do this. This was actually posted a couple days ago. It says, Fran Drescher has some candid advice for women looking to date less successful men. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with who Fran Drescher is, she is known for playing the nanny. She has the kind of voice that will make you want to stab your eyeballs out. She's the typical New York da. Anyway, look it up. So this is Fran Drescher. And so let's read this article because this is actually quite funny. Fran Drescher is single and looking for that special person to share her life with, but she also has a list of qualities she's not seeking in men. Okay. After checking out the online dating app, she's making sure whomever she dates meets her expectations. Okay. The 64-year-old actress. Let's just stop right there. Let's just go ahead and stop right there. 64-year-old Fran Drescher is single and looking for that special someone to share her life with. She has a list of qualities she's not seeking in men. She's making sure whomever she dates meets her expectations. 64 years old. Not 46, not 26, not 24, not even 44. 64 years old. This woman is a senior citizen. This woman has an AARP card. Do you guys see how delusional? Do you see how delusional these females are? This woman is 64 years old, and she's making sure whomever she dates meets her expectations. It's hard not to be mean-spirited, but look. This chick is old. At 64 years old, you don't get to have standards, sweetheart. Let's continue. The 64-year-old actress told E! News that she, quote, found that none of the guys seemed to be honest about how they presented themselves and that they weren't as successful as their profile suggested. Let me stop right there. Isn't it interesting? See, now this is a true double standard. You guys have seen my Instagram posts and some of my YouTube shorts. And girls always like to say, well, why are women shamed for sleeping around while men are praised? That's a double standard. No, that's not a double standard. It is a different standard. Why? Because men and women are different. This is why people react differently to men who sleep around than they react to women who sleep around. It's not a double standard. That is a different standard. This here is a double standard. Anytime men have a decided advantage on the sexual marketplace, it pisses women off, right? Anytime a man does to women, anytime the one or two times that a man does to women what women have been doing to men for eons, everyone loses their mind. We all have heard and seen the study that 30% of women admitted to having gone on dates with men they were not sexually attracted to, unbeknownst to the man, for the express purpose of getting fed for free. Okay? They wrote an article about this. People are praising these women. Oh, brilliant strategy, blah, 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 blah. But then we've got the dine and dash dater, and he got jail time. Right? Then we have women out here presenting themselves as these wholesome creatures, right? ARC likes to call them wholesome pretenders. We got women all over the place. They misrepresent themselves on purpose for the express intent of deceiving a man into committing to someone he doesn't really know. This happens all the time. Well, guess what? Guys do it too. Fran Drescher is right. Listen, guys lie about their accomplishments, who they are, blah, 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 blah. So do women. But when men do it, that's the only time we have a problem with it, is when men mislead women about who they are, right? It is very, very easy for women to mislead men about who they are, unless, of course, you're part of this community, right? Very, 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 it's very easy. It's not so easy for a man to get over on a woman like this. Just ask Simon Livive, the Tinder swindler. That dude had all of the game. Anyway, The fact that Fran Drescher is lying and bitching and complaining about men misrepresenting themselves. Hey, you know what? Welcome to life, sweetheart. Welcome to life, Franny. Okay? At 64 years old, yes, you're going to run into dudes that are going to lie about who they are and what they do. Okay? Is that right? Listen, I'm not going to sit here and talk about what's right or wrong, what's moral and what's not. But what I can tell you is women do it too, and they do it more. Anyway, Drescher has had continued success in the entertainment industry with her sitcom hit The Nanny, and now as the president of the Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA. All in all, she says, I think that they kind of fudge their age. They fudge their accomplishments, she continued. And although I've been with guys who weren't as successful as I am, I've learned the hard way that it's fun for a while, but then, okay, looks like we need an editor. But then eventually they begin to resent you for paying for everything and for having more than they have and for being more successful than they are. Okay. Blaming the, quote, male ego, Drescher decided that she needs a man who has his own ambitions and success in his career because otherwise the dating situation is, quote, too painful for her. I don't want to be resented for my success, she said confidently, and she shouldn't have to apologize for the hard work she's put in and the fortune she has earned over the decades in the entertainment business. Men aren't sorry for their success, and neither should she. Where does that leave Drescher's dating life now? She says she's starting to dip her toe back in the water and put the word out there. So, if you know of anyone, just remember her dating stipulations. Oh boy. Might I remind you, this woman is 64 years old. 64. 64 years old. And she has a list of standards. Now, a little further down, this is funny. Before you go, click here to see the actresses over 50 who are now more successful than ever. Now watch this. These actresses over 50 are getting hotter every year. Oh my God. No. Do you see how they're now promoting old, like 50 is the new 20? No, 50 is 50, sweetheart. 50 is 50. Is Jennifer Lopez attractive for her age? Absolutely. She's attractive for her age. She's attractive for her age. Listen, honestly, I don't think people really know what J-Lo looks like behind closed doors. And listen, you guys know I'm not a, let's see her without makeup guy. To me, that's disingenuous. The only time men say, let's see what she looks like without makeup is when they're attracted to a woman they see, but they're looking for a reason to disqualify her, right? Look, ask, well, what do you look like? What do you look like without makeup? That's as disingenuous as saying, well, what Malik Zalou Shabazz told Fresh. He said, if you probably didn't have some money, you wouldn't even get a sniff of pea sleeve. And Shabazz is right. So what's Fresh supposed to do? Just not roll around in one of his 2 Lamborghinis he now owns and say, hey, you know what? I want girls to like me for me. No, that is just as silly as asking, well, let's see what she looks like without makeup. When your woman sees you, 90% of the time she's wearing makeup. I don't give a shit what she looks like 10% of the time. I don't care what she looks like 2 hours of the day. Anyway, the fact that they are still trying to push these old maids, Jennifer Lopez, Sandra Bullock. Yes, Sandra Bullock is attractive-ish. J-Lo is attractive. But saying that they're over 50 getting hotter every year, that's absolutely freaking ridiculous. Ay. All right, let's go to the next article. Oh, this is funny. This is actually not funny. So this is a TikTok video. She said she had a sexist client tell her, you tattoo well for a girl. Now he has a hidden male phallus on his arm. A tattoo artist recalled the moment that she took revenge on a client after he made a sexist comment during an inking session. Chelsea Taylor revealed her crafty ploy on TikTok as users were stunned by her antics. She claimed that a client remarked, you tattoo well for a girl, as she was undertaking his design. After taking evasive action, she decided to permanently hide a D word on his arm as, quote, punishment for his comments. The video quickly received more than 500,000 likes as opinion was split on the unusual act of revenge. Calling out the man, one says, it's very brave of him to insult the person who you considered to permanently draw something on you. Another added, don't F with the person who holds the scissors or the tattoo needle. Others, meanwhile, were more invested in whether the woman would face retroactive action. Are you trying to get sued? One user added, to which Chelsea replied, absolutely, accompanied by a smiley face. Oh, that's cute. So she's making fun of the legal action. Okay, all right. Another pointed out, as someone who's studying to be a tattoo artist, you guys would be surprised just how many people do this, like every tattoo artist I've talked to. The artist replied, if I had a dime for every time someone did this, LOL. It turns out inked revenges are on the rise and sometimes directed at those closest to us. Last year, one artist revealed a mortifying appointment where a couple were scheduled to get matching tattoos. He explained that the couple intended to get the other half's names inked on them as a permanent reminder of how much they loved each other. Always a mistake. But after he had finished the boyfriend's tattoo, the woman dropped the ultimate bombshell that she wasn't having her tattoo done after revealing that she knew he was cheating. Oh boy. Elsewhere, one woman says she was given a painful reminder of her family antics after she accidentally booked a tattoo session with her mom's ex. Okay. The inking he gave her was so ugly that she believes it was an act of revenge. In other tat news, one mother revealed that she has 12,000 pounds, that she has spent 12,000 pounds getting inked, and now people want to date her or tell her people want to date her or tell her she's going to hell. Plus, a woman who flaunted her paw prints tattoo has been told by everyone that they look like something very rude. I remember that story. Let's click on this, dude. This is the worst. Wait, that's not it. One girl had like paws tattooed like right on her breasts. It was, oh my God, it was absolutely terrible. It looked, but I guess I thought this would be the one that I thought that would be the one. So I would love to get y'all's thoughts on that. I mean, do you agree? Obviously I disagree. You can't be doing that kind of thing. Yes, and finally. Our story of the day. Mia Khalifa returns to nudes with Playboy and competes with OnlyFans. The former adult film actress Mia Khalifa joined the magazine Playboy to promote a new project that will compete with nothing more and nothing less than OnlyFans, one of the most requested platforms by the adult audience where exclusive content can be found. Okay. Through Instagram, the famous Bunny magazine announced that the girlfriend of reggaeton singer Jay Cortez will join this community. In this way, Mia Khalifa, who moved away from adult content after some bad experiences. Do you see how they are nebulous with that? After some bad experiences. So they're making it look like there was EPAR involved. Will return to nudes. Many followers of the TikToker have been perplexed by the news, but they support their idol. These people need to learn how to at least get an editor. It is speculated that the former adult film actress would be earning up to $200,000 a year just for her photos. On the other hand, the Lebanese Sarah Jo Chamoun, known professionally as Mia Khalifa, I actually thought Mia Khalifa was I thought that was her government name. I thought that was her birth name. Apparently not. Also triumphs in OnlyFans. In September 2021, she celebrated her first anniversary and thanked her fans for the support. A year on OnlyFans. I love you all, she wrote on her Instagram account. It says Mia Khalifa did not want to be an adult movie star. Well, that's interesting because she ended up becoming one. Oh my God. In September 21, Mia Khalifa spoke openly on the BBC's Hard Talk program. Oh boy, I'm going to get sophomoric here. We're talking about Mia Khalifa speaking openly on the BBC's Hard Talk program about her work in adult film. She thought that no one would ever recognize her since there are millions of girls who do this type of work. No, sweetheart, millions of girls do not do this type of work. Millions of girls do not do this type of work. There she goes. See it again. Now she's skirting accountability. I thought I'd be invisible. Ay, ay, ay. I thought no one would find out that I did spicy movies. There, thousands of girls recording themselves having intimacy and nobody knows their names. She wanted to do it as a secret, but it all blew up, she said. Oh boy. So what did Mia Khalifa do after leaving adult cinema? Well, I'll tell you what she did. She tried making money in other ways, but like most Western-raised women who trade on their looks, she didn't have any skills. Mia Khalifa is a loser, guys. She's a loser. She's an absolute loser. And before I continue on, what we have to start calling these women, we got to start calling these women what they are. You know, the average girl in her 20s is a fucking loser, guys. She's a loser. She works at Starbucks. She has womanist ideologies. She doesn't really have any goals. She maybe has an OnlyFans. She's an Instagram model. Dude, most girls are losers. If a man were living at home, played video games all day, we're held to a standard. Women are not. Now, to be fair, I have always advocated that a female should live at home with her parents until she gets married. So, listen, if a girl is living with her mom and dad and is honestly waiting for the right person to come along to have a family with, I'm good with that. But most of the time, that's just not the case. Most girls are just losers, guys. Anyway. After Mia Khalifa quit the adult film industry, she dedicated herself to exploring different platforms. I've got on sunglasses, guys. It's hard to read. That's my excuse. For example, she had a YouTube channel for a long time. She went on to accumulate more than 900,000 subscribers and videos of her that exceeded 200,000 views. Although she no longer makes this type of content, the model is now focused on advertising through her social networks. In this way, she collaborated with Watford, a Premier League team. So, I'm going to open up the phone. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. I'm going to open up the phone lines. 516-387-1987. That is 516-387-1987. If I would like to get your opinion, and I'll tell you guys my opinion on OnlyFans here in just a second, or Mia Khalifa. I'd like to get your opinion on Mia Khalifa. I don't want to talk about Jada Pinkett and Will Smith anymore. Male birth control. So Jada Pinkett, male birth control, and Fran Drescher. Mia Khalifa, male birth control, and Fran Drescher. I want to hear what your thoughts are on Mia Khalifa returning to the adult industry. She's not doing prawn or spicy movies anymore, but I think it's only a matter of time before she's back in the business. Myron and I, we talked about this, along with Sterling Cooper. Mia Khalifa, her only skill is the way she looks. She's going to have to trade. She's going to be a sex worker for the rest of her life. Mia Khalifa does not have any marketable skills that will pay her on competency. She just does not. And unfortunately for female sex workers, this is how a lot of them are. The reason why so many girls flocked to OnlyFans is because OnlyFans gives girls an opportunity to not be a loser anymore. Okay, so you're a 22-year-old girl who flunked out of college. You're living with your parents or 8 roommates. You're living paycheck to paycheck. If she's half decent looking, OnlyFans, now all of a sudden she can buy cars and homes and all this other kind of stuff. That was the golden ticket for women. Well, what happens after your OnlyFans career is over? Then you really have to start making money. So unless you're smart with your money and save your money, well, you're going to be in some trouble. And when you get in trouble, you're going to resort to what you know. Your only marketable skill that gets you paid is going to be sex work. Such is the life of a sex worker. Okay, shout out to Sammy Jones with the $5 super chat. Says, appreciate the content. Keep putting out these gems for all guys to listen to. Thank you very much for that, Sammy. Appreciate that very much. The Steel Curtain Road Show. Appreciate that very, very much. Clifford Charles, member for 7 months. You sound great, DS. Don DeMarco. Man, I wish I had my soundboard with me. Phone lines are lighting up. I'll continue to get you guys here. Robert Sonaris, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, with the $3 Canadian, says King Life, the fresh and fit shooter in the chat. Absolutely. You better believe it. The Steel Curtain with the $5 super chat says, when they get it nailed down, guys will have no problem taking the pill. The jig is up, ladies. Man, I'm trying to tell you, dude. Sith Lord Entertainment with the $100 super chat. Don DeMarco. Hopefully that was decent. Says Donovan, I want to really, really thank you. With your videos, I have learned very crucial and valuable lessons, and my marriage has never been better. We need men like you to keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to screen cap that. Myron does the same thing. He does the same thing. And he does it, he says he keeps it for himself. Listen, I'm Myron and I, we're similar in a lot of ways. We're two very different people. I keep this stuff so that when people start throwing shade at me, I can be like, look, you can call me whatever you want. I'm out here saving lives. What are y'all doing? What are you doing? I greatly appreciate that, Sith Lord Entertainment. It gives me, again, guys, I take tremendous pride in knowing that what I do actually helps people. Like, this is one of the unintended benefits that I was unaware of. I knew that oh God, Jesus Christ. It's Friday, so we get all the crazies checking in here. All I wanted to do, I just wanted to tell my story and maybe give a little bit of my knowledge to people. I had no idea that it would turn into this. And to get messages and notes and super chats like that, it makes it all worthwhile. It really does. D with the $5 super chat says, "Am I a simp if I will continue to use condoms? This seems as though becoming sterile will be longer than stated." I don't know if it makes you a simp if you want to continue to use condoms, but you said this pill seems as though becoming sterile will be longer than stated. Well, how do you know? And I'm not trying to bag on you here, but I think a lot of men share your concern. Well, listen, man. I mean, I want to be temporarily sterile, but how do I know I'm not going to be sterile forever? Well, this is what these clinical trials are for. These clinical human trials. Okay, you're gonna take the pill. It's going to make them sterile, and then when they stop taking the pill, I guess there's going to be how can I put this? There's going to be a set number of days, weeks, whatever that it takes for it to get out of your system. I'm sure that there probably is a little bit of risk that is going to come with taking this stuff. I mean, I guess you could risk being permanently sterile, but ask yourself this, D. Ask yourself this. Would you rather be unexpectedly sterile or knock a bitch up unexpectedly? Yeah, I'll take A. I would rather get the bad news. I got bad news, Donovan. I got bad news. You're sterile forever. Okay, that's bad. But here's another. I got bad news, Donovan. She's pregnant. That's worse news. Especially, dude. Unwanted pregnancies almost always comes with the last bit you ever wanted to have kids with. So, listen, I understand it's a concern of yours, but my guess is that these clinical trials will assuage those concerns. Listen, some guys aren't going to want to do it, but I think a lot of guys will. And really, in this day and age, it is. I mean, it's basically financial suicide to put a baby in an American woman. So there you go. Let's see here. Had a couple of other. The Demon Foxy with the 10-pound super chat. Appreciate that. The Demon Foxy with another 10-pound super chat says, I don't even see the standard. When guys sleep around, they're congratulated. You feminists sure congratulate girls for stepping out on their boyfriends. Yeah, exactly. But only the womanists do. Men of value, like, dude, we'll smash these 304s, but we are not, dude, we are absolutely not. We are not going to commit to them. DJ Berserk, $10, says, how do you think male birth control is going to impact the child support system and paternity fraud situations? Also, would it mess up false EPAR? I don't think it would mess up false EPAR, because just because you're sterile does not mean that you're ejaculating nothing. You're shooting, but you're shooting blanks. There's still genetic material that comes out of the penis during sexual intercourse. It's just that you're not going to have any swimmers, right? Like semen will come out, but the semen will be absent the sperm. Okay, and just like Jay Blay says, it still has DNA. So if you take a pill for being sterile or whatever the case may be, and a girl hits you with a false EPAR accusation, being on male birth control is not gonna prove or disprove anything one way or the other. DNA is DNA. So when they do the EPAR kit, they're going to find that your DNA is in the girl. Of course, this is why we tell guys, make sure you send that morning after text. Hey, I had a great time last night. Would love to do it again too. Oh, so did I. Blah, 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 blah. Case dismissed. But that's a very good question. That is a very good question. Why would, he says, how would male birth control impact the child support system? Maybe I'm not on my game right now, but it'd be interesting. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I'm not deep thinking right now, but that would be, how about that? Okay. All right. Very nice. So we are going to go to the phone lines. We're going to go to the phone lines. 516-387-1987. 516-387-1987 is the number to call. Let us go to Neil in New Jersey. Neil in New Jersey, you're on live with Donovan, and you go ahead. It's going good, man. How about you?
Good. Love your videos, man. You taught me so many things. It's just ridiculous. It opened my eyes a lot more. And
thank you.
Because of you, I actually got to know Coach Eo and everyone else.
Oh, good.
I really do appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
So, no problem. So I wanted to say about me and Khalifa. She's a mess, but, like, my thing about her is, like, you come from the porn industry. That's fine. There's people who do that, whether it's male or female, right?
Yeah.
There's no need to go bagging on the industry that made you who you are, that made your name go out there. And people know you only because of that. And it's like, now you want to bag at it, and then you want to do this Playboy stuff and come back and make yourself relevant, and then come out with these stories and say this, like you said, the e-porn and everything. It's ridiculous. At least just go and be humble and be like, yeah, I did porn. Thankful for the industry that they made me my money. Now I'm going to go what I'm going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going the route that she's gone. It's not right, you know. There's ways of going about things and being professional still, even if you're in the female and male adult industry.
Right. This is the reason why. Neil. And listen, from a male perspective, and it's interesting. Are you aware of the fact that Selena Powell today is actually supposed to be the day that Selena Powell gets off of OnlyFans, and so for.
No, I did not.
Yeah. Selena Powell was on Fresh and Fit, and she told everyone, she's like, hey guys, this is going to be my last. This is going to be my last time on my last day or on OnlyFans. No, it's not an April Fool's joke. And so your question, why is she running away from the industry or the business that made her who she is? It's because sex work comes with a stigma. Listen, sex work pays a lot of money, Neil. It really, really does. But on the other side, on the other side of that, everything has costs. Whether you're a sex worker or a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, professional athlete, there's always a cost. If you're a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, your blood pressure is going to be high. Your wife's probably going to have multiple affairs on you because you're never around. Your kids are going to hate you because you're never around. But listen, your kids are set for life. They'll want for nothing. Their children's children are set. If you're a professional athlete, if you played professional football, guess what? When you hit your 50s, you're going to have your aches and pains. Your knee, it's going to be a knee, a shoulder, a slip disc, whatever the case may be. Well, with sex workers, the cost of that is that stigma. Now, when you talk about professional athletes or CEOs or anything like that, those guys don't turn their backs on the business because there's no stigma that comes with that. Sex work is real work, as they like to say, but that's part of the cost. What say you?
No, I I definitely agree. There's a heavy cost of sex work. You're putting yourself out there. And then, I think you taught a really key thing about pair bonding. When you sleep around a lot, you can't pair bond anymore. It really destroys that pair bonding. And then when you're out there in the porn industry, you're out there like that, it does destroy her in that sense. And other ways, too. I agree. There's a lot of problems or, a lot of risk that you take and that comes with that. Like you said, there's pro athletes, and you see nowadays they're coming out more and more with CTE and whatnot, right? That's the risk that you take in playing football. The risk that you take playing basketball, whatever it is. This is the risk, and I agree with you. There is a heavy risk, and there's going to be, precautions or whatever. There's going to be problems that you run into or things that you have to take on if you're going to be in the porn industry. So I definitely do agree with that. And then the other point I want to make, the male birth pill. I admit that. So that's pretty wicked. I like it in a sense, but then there's pros and cons, like you said, to everything, right? So the pro is, it's going to be actually like safe in a sense where, look, like you said, I'd rather not make a girl pregnant. I'll go crazy. My whole family will kill me, Donovan. I'm Indian, but conservative. That's a huge no-no. Well, I'll be murked. I'll be shunned. I'll be getting. My family would probably disown my ass, which is rightfully so, and that's not good to do that. And I'd rather be shooting, like you said, go shooting blanks for the rest of my life than impregnate a woman that never wanted to pregnate, and now I'm stuck in a serious financial struggle and serious problem, and it brings a lot of problems to me, but then it brings a bad light to my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But when I look at the pills, like, that's a good thing, but what's the short-term and long-term problems with it? What's the health problems that the men are going to incur? What's in that pill? That's what I want to know. Because if you look at, when you look at certain things nowadays, when you look at food, right, or if you look at drinks, there's estrogen and stuff like that. It actually destroys the male sperm count and everything else, right?
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah.
So that's my concern is, what is this thing going to do if a man takes it?
Well, this is what the clinical trials are for. This is why they're going to start human trials. With every drug, Neil, this is, and listen, you've seen drug commercials. Take X, Y, and Z. Side effects may include vomiting, nausea, headache, vision, whatever. If you have XYZ symptom, call your doctor. And so it really just depends on what the side effects are going to be. But all of the questions that you are having right now, these are the questions that are going to be answered. These are the questions that are going to be answered by these clinical trials with humans. So I mean, listen, your questions are valid, but this is exactly why they're doing these. I'll give you the last word.
Trials. Yeah, and do you know how long are the trials? I don't know how long clinical trials go for. No.
That's a very good question. But listen, when the results come out, I'm sure we'll all know. Neil, thank you very much for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Okay, I just figured something out. Hang on, guys. I think I know. I think I just figured out a hack. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Keep calling. I think I just figured out a hack. Give me a second, guys, because I gotta find my other. Where did it go? Where did that thing go? So what I'm looking for... Hang on, guys. Huh. Hang on, guys. I'm actually looking for my other... I accidentally packed my second mic. But, there we go. Guys are getting an inside look at what's going on over here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, and this is troubleshooting 101. Only the pros know how to do this kind of stuff. is I accidentally packed my second microphone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the second microphone. And perfect. So I'm going to hook up the second microphone, and I'm going to put that right up to the speaker so that you guys can hear the callers as well as I do. So here we go. Perfect. Holy moly. There it is. Very nice. Perfect. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, cool. Okay, well, let's see if my little experiment worked. Let us go to Jay Blaze in Maine. Jay Blaze in Maine. You're on live with Donovan. Go ahead.
Yeah, the topic I was hoping to cover was the male birth control.
Yeah, sure.
And so, like, when you win in full control of anything, like, look at our dating market right now. Women have full control over it, and it's a train wreck. So maybe you have to give birth control to men. And because right now, I think it's like 46% of children being born are into single mother households.
Oh, yeah.
We might get a dip in the birth rates, but it should be to like a lot better families. So I think our society would do a lot better if we had like a 2-parent household, and you'd have much less, fake pregnancy or unwanted pregnancies and stuff. So it could be good.
I think the reason why, and what I'm waiting on a caller to tell me how it would affect the child support system. And I agree with you. Obviously, a two-parent home is the best, right? You want your kid raised in a 2-parent home, but I think male birth control gives power back to the men. We don't get to decide when. How can I put this? We as men, we don't get to decide when we're ready to have kids. You know what I mean? Because we're shooting sperm all the time, all the way till the day we die. Women, on the other hand, they can only get pregnant during a finite. Now, women can get pregnant anytime. Sometimes they can get pregnant when they're on their period, but the point is now this gives power to men, because right now, Jay Blaze, only women can decide on which babies get born. And just like we said, a lot of women baby trap men on purpose. This gives men the ability to not be baby trapped.
Because you could take precautions if you're just having a one-night stand or something, but there's no precautions for a long-term girlfriend that you trust, or a wife you trust, and saying she's on the pill, and she finally says, I'm gonna stop taking this pill, and what do you have?
Yeah, you have a baby. You have a pregnancy. You have conception without the knowledge or permission of the man. See, the thing is this, Jay Blaze, is that the fact that women are the only ones with effective contraception. And even with male contraception, Jay Blaze, women poke holes in condoms. They poke holes in condoms all the time, right? You can't even let them handle your condoms. However, they cannot. If this male birth control works, guess what? You can't baby trap men anymore. Men now have full control over their reproductive rights.
Exactly.
All right. Well.
It's going to be a complete game changer for everything. If it's actually working, and I'd be curious how it handles like testosterone production or any of that stuff. But it's very interesting.
No, I agree totally. I appreciate the call, Jay Blaze. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, it's one of these deals. It really is one of these deals. Test. I think I figured it out. It's one of these deals. It's one of these deals where it gives us a little bit of control. So I think this is a good thing. I don't really know how this would not. I don't know how this would not work. Okay, let's go to New Horizons. Let's go to New Horizons in Detroit. New Horizons in Detroit. You're on live at Donovan. Go ahead.
Hey, Donovan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Cool. I just want to shout out to you first time calling in. You were one of the first red pillars that I ever found in the manosphere. And,
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone in the manosphere between MLD, Fresh and Fit, Rolo, etc. Bettering myself more and more. I doubled my salary last year, and I'm planning on doing it again
good for you.
at the end of this year. So big shout out to you and all the family out there.
Thank you.
Everyone's cool shit.
Thank you.
So about the birth control pill, if this is the same pill that I think it is, I can't remember where I heard about this a few years ago. I want to say that this might be the pill that nukes your testosterone. That's how it makes you, unable to have kids. And if that is the one that I'm thinking it is, you won't even be able to get it up, let alone have a freaking kid.
Yeah. Yeah. No. This is not that. This is definitely not that, because it said in the article, and I've already since taken it down. They made it very clear. They made it very, very clear in the article that this was not that same pill. So this is a. Hang on a second. So the article made it very clear. This is non-hormonal. This is non-hormonal, which means it does not mess with your testosterone. So you can take the pill, you can still, act like a man and get aroused like a man. Everything works except for the swimmer. So no, this is not it. This is non-hormonal.
Oh, that's good then. And about the whole the testing phase, if I recall correctly, I believe the CDC requires a minimum of 3 to 5 years just from the initial phase, and then like another 2 to 3 after that. Considering certain recent events happen. Anyway.
Well, hold on. Let me hold on real quick. New Horizons, you're right. It does take a while for the CDC and the FDA, but they've already gone through those. They've already gone through those channels. Like all of the when new drugs, when they hit the market, they don't start when new drugs are in the beginning, the infant stages of development. They don't make news releases. No, they just do the research on the drug. Only when it starts to get legs, only when animal trials are successful, that's when they're like, okay, this could possibly be a thing. At that, dude, they've been working on this, I think, for the last 5 or 6 years as it is. So it appears that they're on the last leg of the marathon. So yeah, it does take a long time for a new drug to hit the market, but we're there.
I mean, I'm kind of curious how women are really going to take this, even if it's only, behind the scenes, them grumbling to, themselves and their friends about it. Because, Rolla talks about it all the time about how women don't like the reproduction rights to be taken away from them. So it's going to be interesting to see how womanism takes this.
I'll tell you what, they're not going to take it. They're not going to take it well at all. And yeah, women talk about the fact, our reproductive rights are going to be taken away. No, it's not that. It's not. Male birth control is not going to take reproductive rights away from women. It is going to give men our reproductive rights. Right now, men, we don't have reproductive rights. When a woman women only become pregnant when they want to. Women can decide never to get pregnant. They can take birth control. They can decide never to get pregnant. We as men, we can never decide that we want to shoot blanks. You understand what I'm saying? Women can stop their reproductive machine, but we as men, we can't. The only option for us out there right now are just condoms, and even those can be tampered with. But this is going to give us the exact same power that women have. So now both sexes will be able to shut down their reproductive system. So this doesn't take away their reproductive rights. They can keep their reproductive rights, but what it's going to do is it's going to give us our reproductive rights. I'll give you the last word.
My last word in this case is going to be Mia Khalifa. Let her be a perfect lesson as to why men and women are different. Everybody says that men grow through struggle, strife, and comfort is the killer of dreams, right?
Yes.
Well, look at women.
Yep.
They can't be uncomfortable. They will absolutely go to the ends of the earth, destroying themselves, their minds, their bodies, to stay in their comfort zone. And Mia Khalifa is the exact perfect example of how men and women are different.
Much appreciated.
Okay, thank you very much for the call, New Horizons. He asked very good questions there. He really did. Yeah, he's right. I mean, men, listen, struggle, strife, stress, that looks good on a man. Being battle tested looks good on a man, not so much on a woman. I'm going to hit these super chats quickly, and then we will go to Apollo in Pittsburgh, Donald in DC, and Hassan in New York. We've got a few other calls after that. Give me a second. I thought I had a super chat. Zero Calm, welcome to Chat Privileges. I appreciate that. The Demon Foxy says Dr. Donovan at it again. Ease Chill says try the Elgato Stream Deck as a sound port, as a port soundboard. Yeah, I've actually got two Stream Decks. I've got two Stream Decks at my studio back in Philly. So I'm well aware of that. I just forgot to bring one this time. So yeah, I know all about it. Tony Johnson says, "Are you in Miami?" Yes. MT with the $20 super chat says, "You mean Drake can throw away his hot sauce stash?" Yeah, right. Real talk, dude. Real talk. Johnny Green says, "If there is a drop in birth, there'll be no system." Ooh, I like that. Very good. New Horizons, who just called in, says women can't be uncomfortable, men thrive in it. Truer words never spoken. Okay, let's go to Apollo in Pittsburgh. Apollo, you are on live with Donovan. What's going on, man?
All right, Don, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
All right, pretty good. Yeah, definitely wanted to call and talk about, like you said, the, I guess, birth control pill for men.
Right.
I think it'll be, I guess, to me, a game changer in a sense, because now not only will men be able to control the reproductive rights, but you'll cut down, as you said earlier, on false being baby trapped by, girls just looking at you trying to, get a baby out of you or something like that. And it reminds me of what you had said to me and to others, like whenever I talked about dating, and you always told me, do not tell girls you have a vasectomy. And I know I mentioned a couple times to girls that I felt like were trying to set me up, that, I had a vasectomy, and after we hooked up, they ghosted me after that.
See that?
They were probably trying to set me up, right, for a kid. And once I said that, they were like, well, I can't get him. And then other women that I told that beforehand, and I don't make that mistake anymore, but when I did, all of a sudden they were gone, and it was just like, I wonder if they were looking to possibly get a baby out of me. So I think it'll be a game changer in that sense.
I'll tell you something, Apollo. It's not only that they're looking to get a baby out of you. It's sex is girls love risky behavior. Even, dude, girls can say, I'd never, ever, ever want to have kids. But something in a woman's biological, physical, visceral attraction to a man, something happens to it when they find out that you cannot get them pregnant. It's almost like you're effectively neutering yourself as far as they're concerned, if they know about it. A lot of times, and let's just face it, if a man is incapable of getting a woman pregnant, in her mind, that's lack of fertility. And for us guys, like the things that make us sexually attracted to women, large breasts, a sizable, not a donkey donk, but a nice shapely ass, a young tight, a tight body, all of the long hair, all of these are signs of fertility. That's why we are sexually attracted to women with large breasts. Now, there are different men who have different types, but by and large, youth and beauty and a shapely, young woman's body, that's a sign of fertility. Well, a man who tells a woman that he had a vasectomy or that he is on male birth control, that is equivalent to a woman who is flat chested, does not look like a woman, doesn't have any curves. There's nothing otherwise discernible that she is actually a female. So when you tell a woman that you have a vasectomy, it's a turnoff to them in the same way that a woman all of a sudden losing all of her female parts is a turnoff to us.
Right, I definitely, can agree with you on that one. And, hello?
Yep, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't hear anything.
No, that's okay. I'm letting you talk.
Okay, and then I guess the last thing I'll say is that also with, I guess somebody was saying about, were they saying paternity fraud, or will it cut down on child support?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? Because I don't know if I'm not putting the pieces together, but he wanted to know what effect male birth control will have on the child support system, and maybe I'm just not smart enough for that kind of thinking. But is it something I'm missing, or can you think of anything?
I mean, I can think of, because I could think of it in the sense that women not being able to baby trap a guy, because now if a woman gets pregnant by a guy and saying, oh, okay, it's your kid, and he starts paying, that's how it's been. But now if a woman's hooking up with a guy and she says, hey, I'm pregnant, but he didn't tell her he's on the pill, now he can say, hey, it ain't my kid, and this is why. And now instantly less and less ladies will probably be able to do that. So therefore I could see it being a trickle down effect on the child support system, because you'll have lower birth rates anyway, and women not being able to trap guys. That's just, thinking off the top of my head.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I guess the child support thing, I don't know. I guess it would just lead to more women being, it would cut down on paternity fraud, I would imagine. Because listen, how many women, and here's another thing, Apollo, and I'll give you the last word on this, because you and we have talked about this on my weekend Zoom calls. So long, Neil Ray, thanks for calling in, man. Is that when it comes to I guess male versus female birth control, it's almost as though, we've talked about this before, and I forgot. There was one point that you made, and it was an excellent point. But I think what male birth control does, like I said at the top of the show, I think it gives us the power, and it's not going to. Girls are not going to be able to baby trap guys. They can't hit you off for a lick. If a girl is having sex with you and she doesn't know that you can't get her pregnant, at that point, yeah, now you can, okay, bitch, you're cheating on me if you turn up pregnant. That's one thing I can maybe think of.
Oh, right. I think of that. And now, do you think it's a point as best, as you said, for guys to keep that quiet as being on it, so that a woman doesn't know, and that way you can kind of see how she moves and operates? Because then if, like you said, she says I'm pregnant, and you instantly know, well, it ain't my kid, and I already know that she's cheating on me. Or is that something you would say, bring to the present, where letting a girl know, and maybe it's a deterrent to her to even mess with you in the first place?
Yeah, man. I think you're right, man. But I can't really think of how it would affect the child support. I can't think of how it would affect the child support system. I don't know that there's going to be an effect. Obviously, there's going to be much less paternity fraud. But you think about this too, Apollo. A lot of times, girls will commit paternity fraud without committing paternity fraud. And here's what I'm here and follow me here. This is how girls get guys to get them pregnant. They'll tell a guy, I'm pregnant. Okay? She's not pregnant, but she's going to tell the guy she is pregnant. And so if they decide to stay together and they're still having sex, the guy is not going to use condoms, because he's going to think, well, I can't get her any more pregnant than she already is, so I'm just not going to use condoms. And then when they go in, it looks like you're in your second or third trimester. I don't even know how this works. She's going to be a few weeks off from that due date, and they can just talk to them. So, different babies take different times. So that's how girls can still baby trap men. That's how girls can baby trap men right now. They can tell him that. They can tell the man that she's pregnant, but she's really not pregnant. So he starts raw dogging her and then gets her pregnant. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
It's crazy, right?
I know, like you said, you went Right. You didn't want to, I guess, really talk about like Jada and Will Smith. I just had one thing I had really wanted to ask you.
Apollo, listen, listen, Apollo, it's you. You can talk about whatever you want. Go ahead, man. You got it.
Okay, I just wanted to, I know you had mentioned a couple times that I guess you had said Will had been fulfilling his responsibilities and Jada wasn't fulfilling hers. Just to make sure I'm quoting you right.
Yes. Well, you're probably right. But what I think what I meant to say was that Jada did not deserve the kind of defense that Will gave her. Jada's not she's not the kind of woman that you fight for, because she's disrespected Will in so many different ways. Yet when someone disrespects Jada, Will jump to her defense. So he is upholding his end of the bargain by protecting her honor when she clearly didn't deserve it. I think that's probably what I meant. But yeah, you can quote me on that. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And I was, wanting to ask you, do you think he was even really holding up his end of the bargain at all throughout the relationship? Because if I'm not mistaken, he asked her for the relationship, saying, "Are you with anybody?" And like, "No, you're with me now." And as anything you've always told us is that you never, ever, ever ask a woman for a relationship.
That's right.
That's right. So from the beginning, he started off on the wrong foot, and then obviously, and I wonder if you thought it too, has he always been kind of living in the shadow of Tupac, trying to say, "Oh, you're with me now," trying to act hard, get out of his nice guy image.
Yeah.
But in doing so, he's never really been able to put his foot down with her, put her in check, telling her, "Yeah, you ever do something like that again, you're out of here." And therefore, she's probably been dying for him to put her in check one time, and he never does it.
He never did.
And so therefore, this is where it led to.
Wow, you know what? It's interesting. I think, Apollo, you've made a very astute observation. Will Smith is the quintessential example of why you should never angle for a long-term relationship first. You should never do that. And I've said it 100 times. If you angle for a relationship with a woman before she angles for one with you, you forfeit your ability to be able to lay down the law. You can't set boundaries, nor can you enforce them, because you're the one that asked her for the relationship rather than the other way around.
Right. So that's just what I wanted to say, because I don't know if I had heard anybody say that.
That makes sense, man.
I wanted to discuss that with you.
That makes sense, dude. Apollo, I like where your head is at, man. Any other thoughts?
No, that was it, Don. I really appreciate the time as always.
Absolutely, Apollo in Pittsburgh, checking in. Listen, guys who are a little closer to me in terms of, I tend to give those guys a little bit more screen time. Let us go to Donald in D.C. Donald in D.C., you're on live with Donovan. Looks like you want to talk about Mia. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing today, Mr. Donovan?
I'm doing good. How about you, man?
Good. So I want to say this about like Mia, and then it's like a correlation with what I always tell like my friends or whatever.
Okay.
I always tell them like her past always matters, because as you could see, like with Mia Khalifa, of course, she tried to get away from her past, but like soon as some tough times hit, what does she do? She returns to her past.
There you go.
And it's the same thing with a woman. Yeah, it's the same thing with a woman that's a hoe. Like, you may think you can change her for a short time period, but you got to understand that we are creatures of habit.
That's right.
And once we fall on tough times, we're going to always revert back to our bad habits. Same thing like with a junkie, a person that's been on drugs for 10 years.
Yeah.
You make them meet them, and you can get them off drugs for the next 2 to 6 months. But once they go through a hard time, they're going to revert back to what they know and the habits they've been doing for a long time. And that's the same thing with Mia Khalifa. Like, she probably stopped doing porn for maybe 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years. I don't know how long in particular, but you see that she's reverting back to her bad habits. And that's the same thing when you try to wipe up a woman with a large body count or a woman that's a hoe or something like that.
No, listen, Donald, you are absolutely correct. And I think Mia Khalifa and Selena Powell, for whatever reason, they're the same person to me. It's weird. Mia looks younger and better than Selena Powell, but anyway, Selena Powell, today is supposed to be her last day on OnlyFans. It's supposed to be her last day on OnlyFans. Guess what? And I'm not trying to be mean-spirited, but Selena Powell, like Mia Khalifa, doesn't have any other skills. Mia Khalifa started out as a sex worker. That's where she made her bag. That's where she made her bones. And so when she gets out of the business, when times get tough, you go back to what you know how to do. It's the same thing with strippers. Strippers who don't save their money. All strippers say, I'm only going to do this for 6 months, a year. They get addicted to the money. They get addicted to the life, right? And they end up stripping for 2 or 3 years. Then they're like, you know what? I'm tired of being a stripper. I've got some money, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go out and try other things. Well, they figure out that they don't have any other skills. The skill that made them the most money, that gave them the most comfortable life, was stripping. So they end up going back to stripping. It's the same thing with adult film stars. They try to get out of the dude. How many female adult film stars? Jenna Presley. She got out of the prawn industry. She went broke, so she had to get back in. The last time she actually did it, the only reason why she's not back in prawn is because she managed to sucker in a beta male simp, the preacher. I forgot what his name is, and now she doesn't have to do adult films anymore. But trust and believe, if he were to go broke and she was out on her own, trust and believe, Jenna Presley would 100%. She'd be right back on those films. I give you the last word.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna touch back on that Selena Powell thing that she was saying. What you gotta understand is that like good habits must be formed and developed.
Yes.
So if you got 5 to 10 years of bad habits, and then you just think, oh, since it's April 1st, I'm done with OnlyFans.
Yeah, man.
No, that's not how it works.
No, it don't work that way. It don't work that way, fam.
Habits. Yeah. You got to develop those good habits, and you got to form them for months and years. You don't just wake up and say, I'm done with OnlyFans. No, you've been developing that bad habit for years.
Yep.
So those bad habits are going to continue as soon as you hit a rough patch in your life, or a man does you dirty, or whatever happens to you. You're going to revert back to your bad habits because that's all you know. That's all you know.
No, I agree totally.
And like you stated earlier, you said everything comes with a cost, right?
That's right.
The cost that comes with that work is you lose your respect.
That's
Nobody
right.
really respects you as a
That's
human
right.
being.
That's
yeah,
right.
Nobody respects you anymore.
See, that's the thing, Donald, is women want to be able to engage in the kind of in sex work, but maintain their respect. It does not work that way.
No.
Women, especially spicy movie stars, and that's what Mia Khalifa's problem is now. She's like, "Why are people holding my past against me, sweetheart?" That's not their fault. Okay, when you decided to have sex on camera for money and decided that it was okay for them to distribute it, whatever happens at that point is what it is. You can't be a spicy movie star and still maintain your self-respect as a woman. This isn't a societal. This isn't how can I put this? This isn't something that we just made up in society. This is biology. This is Mother Nature. And listen, Mia found out the hard way, and Selena Powell is going to find out the hard way too.
Yeah, this is going to be the last thing. I'm going to let you go.
Go ahead, man.
Since the beginning of time, men have been repulsed by promiscuous women, and
That's
it's
right.
always going to be like that.
That's right.
Until the end of time. So it's nothing a woman can do to try to change that. And then, I'll let you go. I'll go ahead and let other callers come on.
Donald, thank you very much for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Yeah, Donald in D.C. dropping some knowledge, man. David Wigley with the $5 super chat says the child support system will be affected because they get funding based on how much they create. Less child support cases equals less money back into the system. Okay, now there you go. Yeah. Ooh, that's a very, very good point. Now that makes sense. I didn't see it that way. Hassan in New York. Thank you very much for holding, and you go ahead.
Oh man, how you doing, Donovan? What's going on?
I'm doing great, man. It's 84 degrees here in Miami, Florida, so I'm doing wonderful.
well, doing better than me is 47 degrees in New York, but I'm a little. That's all right. Anyway, I noticed something that that last call touched on when it comes to the power, and she said something that was very telling. But when she said it, she realized she talked about how she wanted to be married with kids.
Yeah,
and she wanted a husband that would be proud of me. He could, because of the road that I took to get the money the way that I got that money.
Yeah.
She said she honestly believes it was going to happen. And that's when Myron said, as usual, in person said, he said, hey man, fast money. He said quick money comes with long.
That's right. Fast money comes with slow problems. That's exactly right.
And I think, yeah. And I think me and Khalifa is doing that because let's be honest, her putting herself as Playboy is a key way, if she plays it correctly, to get back in the porn industry.
There you go. That's right.
Because all that money she had from the first time for her first go around, she made a lot of money, I'm certain. But the problem is, she doesn't realize her agency as a sex worker, the older you get back into the game, the harder it is for you to make the money you used to make.
That's right.
And she doesn't understand that.
Nope.
And let me tell you something. Like the proof way, it's like saying, "Oh yeah, I want you when you're 23. Here you come at 33, older, a little more. Sorry to say this, ran through.
That's right.
You did every position on the man up in there.
Yep.
I mean, she can't possibly believe that a husband's gonna that somebody's gonna wife her. But let me not say that because they got a lot of simps out there that just think they can change a woman.
There you go. Yep.
Despite her promiscuous past. And the sad part about it is, one thing I did like is what you mentioned earlier about the male birth control pill.
Yeah.
A lot of women are gonna be losing their shit because they can't run game no more.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
They can't win no more games.
That's right.
Games are wrapped. They're like, they're pregnant too, maybe. Sorry. What
Nope.
do you mean sorry? Man, I've been taking a pill.
I'm on the pill, bitch. Yeah, exactly. And before I let you go, Hassan, let me tell you something else about the spicy movie industry. I had a spicy movie addiction back when I was in my early 30s. The last time I watched a spicy movie was when I was 37 years old. That's how long it's been. So I don't know who the female actresses are. But one such actress that I remember from back in the day was a woman named Sylvia Saint. And I remember I remember her. Yes, right. You remember her. There was Sylvia Saint, then there was Chrissy.
She was the first white woman I know with a whole lot of brothers.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Dude, Sylvia Saint.
Her career was left after that. Her career was left. I think she was
Yeah. I forgot what the Chrissy Moran. There's some other ones. My memory's bad on that. But every time Sylvia Saint came back into the business, she'd retire, she'd go away, then she'd come back. Every time she came back into the business, Hassan, she was doing more and more risque things. See, when she first started, when she was young and hot, she basically just did girl on girl stuff, and then it was just only mouth and vaginal penetration, right? She retired. When she came back, when she retired and came back, now all of a sudden she's having to do things a little bit more risque. Now she's involved with threesomes and bangs with multiple men. She retired one more time. The last time she came back, that's when you and I remember the last time she came back. Now she's in movies with multiple brothers and using every single hole. And the reason she had to do that is because she was older and older and older. And the only way to keep the money coming, she had to engage in more risky behavior on camera. I'll give you the last word, man.
Yeah, man. She just turned 46, believe it or not.
Jesus Christ. Ay. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but I think these ladies do that because if you have a bunch of guys giving attention to getting naked when you're 19, 20, it's awesome. When you're 34, that is one lady on the internet, on YouTube saying, the mistake she made as an adult film star.
Yep.
And she's saying it fried her brain so much that she can't trust men because she did all these types of things with men. She assumed the men that actually want to date her, think they're going to do that stuff to her. Her brain, she couldn't take it.
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
So now she's wanting those things to scenes. But
unbelievable. Hassan, thank you very much for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Stay up.
Absolutely. Hassan makes a very good point. He makes a very good point. And look, I'll reiterate. Every time a woman retires, comes back, whatever the case may be, she has to engage in more risky behavior. Listen, when you're young and hot, you can pretty much not really dictate terms, but when you're young and hot, you can pretty much do what you want. But after you've aged out of the industry, you're going to have to do some pretty degrading things to be able to keep your job. Let us go to Josh in Spokane. Washington. Josh, you are on live with Donovan Sharpe. What's on your mind?
Hey, Donovan. Want to say thank you for everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
I got into you right about the same time that I got into Rolo and Rich, and
Good.
it was an eye-opener, let's just put it that way. I started my path down the dark way with the Mana Swamp, and then veered hard right over to where you guys are at. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Good. I'm glad you found us, man.
Yeah, so, yeah, me too. It was a dark time, but, it's always when it happens, right?
That's right.
One thing I wanted to ask with this whole male birth control thing, well, one comment I wanted to make is I was kind of framing my question around something somebody else touched on a little bit here. Child support, my opinion on it would be that the global pool for child support would probably need more of our cash into it in order to make these women happy, right?
Ooh, yes.
So with us taking birth control, I think it would definitely cut down on the amount of men that would be, paying into child support. But the problem that I think there is that we're not coupling that with a mandatory paternity test. I know there's a lot of states.
Like it.
It's not required, right? Exactly. It's not required. So from my perspective, it's like, yeah, there would be an impact, but I don't think it would be as much as we would think, because I think men are still going to be on the hook regardless of taking birth control.
Right. No, I'm with it. Listen, you're absolutely right. And that's a very good point, Josh, because now that there's male birth control, now I think eventually, Josh, they're going to have to make paternity tests. They're going to have to make paternity tests mandatory, because if a girl claims that she's pregnant and a guy is like, "Hey, look, bitch, like I'm on the pill," she can say, "Well, no, I know it's yours. All right, well, guess what? I'm on the pill. You're telling me that the kid is mine. Let's do a paternity test." She can't get away from it at that point. I'll give you the last word.
Exactly. No, there's going to be 100% some degree of failure with this thing. We already know it. Female birth control already has that kind of embedded into it, right? We know it's
of course.
Effective based on a multitude of reasons. So they're going to have some sort of qualifier. The last thing I wanted to say is, with this whole Mia Khalifa thing, I don't really understand what's going on with her, but I will tell you this. I've seen a bunch of situations where girls have been able to pull themselves out of the adult film actress industry.
Yeah.
Take Sasha Grey, for example, right? She's doing like Twitch streams, like just playing video games and stuff like this.
Who?
I find it to be kind of funny. It's not Sasha Grey, right?
Okay.
I saw her on my YouTube feed one day accidentally and was like, I remember her from when she was doing those naughty films.
Okay.
So I just think it's kind of funny. You can't find any other work to do, Sasha? Mia? You got nothing else going on in your life? I get it. It makes money, but come on.
Yeah, hey, look, you're right, Josh, but guess what? See, the thing is, man, is that, Jesus. The thing about this, Josh, is that girls don't like being sex workers. They hate having to do it. Now, I remember Devin and I, we watched the series called After Prawn Ends, and there were three parts. Yeah, there were 3 parts to it. The one woman who really and truly, she's like, hey, you know what? I don't regret it. She said, I've been retired for 10 years and I still sell out, blah, 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 blah. She's a nympho. She loves sex with different men, doesn't regret it. No, she is a statistical anomaly. She's the one woman, Tara Patrick, who was like, listen, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I'm still in it. I love the sex industry. I love being a sex worker. But dude, 99.9% of women don't want to have sex on camera and get paid for that. They don't want to have to do that if they're not going to do it if they don't have to. Girls who do OnlyFans are girls who don't have any other marketable skills, man. So yeah, I agree with you. Mia, you don't have anything else going on? Well, the answer, Josh, is no. This is why she's going back to sex work. And I agree with you. Let me ask you this before I let you go. I think that Mia Khalifa eventually ends up back in the spicy movie industry. What say you?
As far as I'm concerned, she's already there.
Ooh.
Fans is like one step away. As far
Yeah.
as I'm concerned.
Yes.
I don't distinguish the two between them. I mean, to me, like, you're going to have to pay for it eventually, right?
Listen, the bill comes due at some point.
Porn, it's just, exactly. So to me, it's no different.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Josh, thank you very much for the insight, man. I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you, Donovan.
Absolutely. Oh, dude, good call. Good, dude. Very, very, very good call by Josh. Wow, very good call. You guys are making me think. Let's go to DJ Berserk in New Orleans. DJ Berserk in New Orleans, man, you're down there in the Final Four, brother. How's it going?
Hey, Don, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, perfect, man. I'm doing great. So what I was trying to get at with the whole child support thing, a couple people already touched on it.
Okay, go ahead.
Stop the paternity fraud type of thing, you know. I think about those military members that go overseas and come back and, hey, there's the kid. And it's like, well, I haven't been with you. The kid's not mine. You know? So I think that would help a lot with that. You're right. It does give us control over birth. The thing with it was someone else pointed out that because this industry is contingent upon men having to go to court with women who they have to pay for because they have a kid together.
Yes.
This is going to change so many things.
Okay.
Right? So if women cannot trap men with kids, correct?
Right.
This is going to plummet the birth rate. This is going to make women have to go to work.
Ooh.
They're not going to be getting that supplemental income.
Uh-oh.
So now this is going to, and I think about New Orleans as, you know, low-income states, right? So
yes.
Men are not going to be having children. Women are not going to be having children.
Wow.
Guess what? These people are going to have to go to work or do something.
That's right.
To hopefully stimulate the economy in some way, shape, or form. But you're not going to see, I think I was watching someone else talk about Black China with Rob Kardashian.
Oh, yeah.
And Tyga, that she's not getting any help, correct?
Right.
Well, if those guys had not had a kid with that woman, then she would have to be trying to find someone else. But this is what Rolo says, you know, alpha fucks, beta bucks.
That's right.
So you're going to be getting rid of that completely. I also hope that, I know they're kind of impish, but sugar daddies are going to be requiring sex now.
Ooh.
I can't get you pregnant, so you can't leverage sex against me because I'm on this pill. Now I can require you to do something. This might the sugar baby industry. So I'm just thinking about so many things. It's going to prevent single motherhood in the hood. They're not going to be having degenerates of society. Sugar daddies are going to request more. This is going to take money out of the court system because if guys are not having children with these women, we're not going to have all of this, you know, the self-deletion of many men that are going through this. I actually have a child with one woman, and if I had this pill, man, I would be so happy. I have two children, though. I have one with the woman that I wish I had never, ever, ever, ever spoken to.
Right.
She is the worst. But my second child's mother is someone who I'm currently with, and we have a great relationship.
Good.
We are doing the family thing. I told her I don't want to get married, but we're already good where we are.
Right.
So I don't have to worry about that with her. But if I could have never had my first child with this woman, it would have set me up for success. You know? But I'm just thinking about how this trickles down. And I love it because you're right. It does give men the opportunity to have rights, and we don't have to be at the in the hands of a woman.
Yes, we're not at the mercy of women anymore with this.
Right. So I'm just thinking about, okay, if this happens, then what's going to happen here? Or what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here? And those were the things that I was trying to point out. You know, the false EPAR stuff, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. But I believe everyone in this community are not those types of people.
Right.
You know, we understand women to an extent.
Of course.
But, yes, it was the false paternity stuff, because I know that there are a lot of men still that, you know, they're still in the system for having to pay for kids.
Yeah.
The only thing that I see is that if you're married, that system is still going to be in place because you know how vindictive women can be.
Yeah.
But for everyone else across the world, if this becomes the standard, right, this is going to save so many men from being in the system. You can save your money. You can level up. You can bang as many chicks as you want to. You know, it's going to be so much better for everyone across the board. I really feel that way.
Totally agree. DJ Berserk, thank you very much for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Don. Take care.
Listen, DJ Berserk made an excellent point. 2 points he made, and I'm going to add to one of his. or I think it was Hassan in New York. Women are going to have to go back to work, right? Men are no longer going to be looked at as a cash register. Getting the bag for a woman means actually going out and actually earning her money, rather than, laying back and let some random ejaculate inside her. She gets the 18-year payments of annuity in the form of child support. Something else that it is going to do, and guys, this is big time. This is big time. Here's the deal. Here is the deal. If this male birth control is as effective as female birth control, you want to know what's going to have to happen? Women are going to have to act like women. Women are going to have to act like women. If women want a family, if they want any sort of commitment, they got to come correct. Listen, if you want my seed, you got some proving to do. Listen, I'll nut in you all day long, but I'll be shooting blanks until I can see that you are going to be a decent mother. Women are going to have to improve themselves because all a woman has to do is look good. One night, all she has to do is look good, you knock her up, and she's set for life. Guess what? That instantaneous bag, that's over with. That is absolutely over with. You don't think professional athletes are going to be jumping on this? They're going to be running through these hoes like it's going out of style. All these baller alerts and this baller is here. No, the bag is gone. The bag is going to be gone. You are literally giving men their lives back. Now men can go out and men will be able to go out and we'll be able to spread our seed, never have to worry about getting a girl pregnant. So what that is going to do, this is going to force women to actually act like women. Okay, you can have sex with me, but what else you got? Like, what else you got? Very good call. Very, very, very good call. Soldier for Christ, we are at war. $10 super chat says, if the child support system makes money based on the number of payers, if that number goes down drastically, do you think the laws would change to make stepdads have to pay? Is this partly why society pushes step? Wow. That is a very, very good question. And I'll tell you this. Because we all know how this works. And stay with me here. Yerson in Miami. Oh, Yerson in Miami is on. Okay. Yerson, Miami, Timothy in Northern California, Wayne in Indiana. I'm coming to you guys right after this. How can I put this? Ever since the advent of womanism, one of the biggest pillars of womanism is the transference of resources from men to women. Okay? Birth control, hormonal birth control, put that in complete control of women, right? So now we have paternity fraud, etc., etc. So guys decided, okay, I'm going to use a condom. Okay, all right. So guys figured out, okay, don't want to get married anymore because I don't want to get divorced part. So guys stop being married, right? Because if you marry a woman, you have a kid with her, she decides to divorce you, no-fault divorce, she gets the cash and prizes. So men then decided, okay, all right, we're not going to get married. So what did society do? So the laws then were advanced to continue that money train. Okay, you don't have to be married to a woman, but if you knock a bitch up, you still got to pay her. Okay, you weren't married to her, so what? You have a kid with her, you still have to pay. So then guys started saying, okay, well, you know what? We got a lot of people like, listen, I'm not messing with women at all. So the laws were then adjusted with the child support system. Guess what? There's no other adjustment that the laws can make if male birth control gets out there. Would you like to know why? The reason for this is that there's nowhere else to squeeze this from. So Soldier for Christ's super chat, let's just say the laws changed so that now stepdads have to pay for these kids. You know what that's really going to do? That's going to make single mothers radioactive. Wait a minute. If I'm in a relationship with this woman and she has a child that is not biologically mine, if I'm in a relationship with her and I marry her and she decides to divorce me, I'm responsible for that? No. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Then guys are so what this is going to do, what this is going to create, this is going to, oh my God, this is a win for men. This is a win for men. There's no way to trap men anymore. There is just no way to trap men anymore. There are no laws that you can put on the books. There are no laws you can put on the books that will extrapolate resources from men against their own will. That's what this is. That's what this is. So if all of a sudden now they have laws, well, if you marry a single mother and she has kids, 2 kids that don't belong to you, if she decides to divorce you, you're still on the hook for child support because, oh no, guys are not going to be in relationships with single mothers, and they're definitely not going to be marrying single mothers. Single mothers are, dude, they're going to be ass out. They're actually going to have to get out here and work, man. Wow. Let us go to Yerson in Miami. Yerson in Miami. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Don?
Not too much, dude. I'm enjoying the fun in the sun down here in the 305. What's up?
Yeah, man, bear with me. I don't know why I have this thick accent through the phone. I don't know why, but
that's fine.
Yeah, man, about this Mia Khalifa thing, bro. This is the thing. I remember a couple of months ago, maybe a year, she was complaining about they were like the porn industry weren't paying her that much. Then they show her a receive after receive, like boom, boom, boom. Then after she kind of like was acting like a victim in a way. Now look at now. Now she wants to come back to the same industry that she was talking shit about.
There you go.
The hypocrisy is just like off the roof, bro. And it's funny because females, bro, like in this modern era, bro, like they have these like whole tendencies.
Oh yeah.
Or they talk a certain way. They behave a certain way. They show the world what they really think, like all the time, about how they really feel. Then they want us men to perform like our shit is static. It's like we have to treat them like they are just like traditional, like they are the girls that they cannot do any harm in society. And bro, like I see it every day. I have seen like my coworkers, they think that they don't know nothing about this like red pill stuff.
Oh no,
nothing. And I and you told me you say something really really critical there, that you were like, guys that like you cannot force guys with red pill. Let them come. Like you say something about that. Like
right.
You cannot force them. They have to suffer somehow, or they have to see what's going on. And bro, I see it every single day at my job. And these dudes are like, here, bro, your girl, like, bro, look at her Instagram, look at her Facebook, look at her DMs. Oh no, I trust her. Fuck it, I trust, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, okay, bro, do whatever you want to do. It's on you. But yeah, man, it's clown world, like Fresh and Fit saying, freaking clown world, bro. But yeah, man. Go ahead.
No, I was singing the Clown World song. I'll give you the last word, Yerson. Yerson, can you hear me? I see him. He's still on. I don't know what happened. All right, well, I'll come back to him. Let us go to Timothy in Northern California. Timothy in Northern California. So you don't think male birth control will change anything? Explain.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's an honor, and I appreciate and thank you for being my proverbial big brother.
Of course, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I believe that mandatory paternity test, and I believe that one of the earlier callers, shout out to Josh in Washington, said this already. But
Josh in Spokane.
Paternity test, absolutely, yeah, that would change it, I believe, because like an earlier caller mentioned, excuse me, an earlier caller mentioned that these women will be forced to work.
Right.
And if you listen to the Godfathers, they don't want to work.
No, they don't. No, they do not.
No, sir, they don't. Yeah, I'm kind of terrible with words, but
That's okay.
yeah.
So, do you think that male birth control will change anything, or do you think it will?
I don't believe it will, because women will still decide who is born. You know, you mean you, for lack of a better phrase, shoot up the club and you get a super swimmer. Things can happen.
Sure.
But with that paternity test at birth, that will change the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And real quick, I'd just like to tell you, man, my buddy, we love you, man. And if you ever need a security team, we are United States Marines. We are on the West Coast, and if you're ever out here for the pull-up, these people do the pull-ups out here. We got you.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate that, Tim. I might actually take you up on that.
Absolutely. We stay ready.
Timothy in Northern California. Thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let us go to Wayne in Indiana. Wayne in Indiana, you're on Live with Donovan. Go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Sure can.
All right, I'll make this real brief because I don't want to beat the dead horse, but everybody's saying that, pretty much the same things, that we all are in the same agreement about it. I would just add one thing that I seen from TikTok and then about the topic about birth control. Mm-hmm. So as far as birth control, I think that it's going to help men, but it's only going to help red pill men. Men who are extremely blue pill, especially millionaires and just the average guys that work, utilitarian jobs, police officers, stuff like that. They're now going to be targeted because, let's say, little Becky Sue, she wants the baller. She wants to hit the buzzer beater, right?
Right.
And 9 out of 10 guys that she meets, the upper echelon of men are not going for it because they're all on birth control. Where her only option is to resort to a lesser than men. Now, these extremely blue pill people who reject science, who reject the data day to day, they're going to be targeted by these women. So I think we're going to see a big disparity. So you're going to see a really hot 8.5 with a guy that's Best Buy, because everybody in the middle who is red pill or rare is not going to drop babies in.
That's right.
That's only if this is effective as it is.
Right. Wow, that's interesting. So what you're saying, it sounds like what you're saying is that male birth control will, I think that's a very good point. I think that male birth control will, I don't want to say that will breed out the best, but if the top guys, the alpha males of the world, especially professional athletes, big strong guys who have women throwing themselves at them all the time, if they're shooting blanks, these women are going to have to, kids are going to have to get born somehow, right? So the the alpha males get all the sex, but they're not getting any of the offspring. And so the offspring is really going to be reproduced by the middle guys. Wow, that's interesting, man.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Wow.
And not so much just the ballers and stuff like that, because most people aren't red pill aware. So that's the whole spectrum. That's the 18-year-old version to the 55-year-old millionaire. Most of them.
Yeah.
But the ones that will, or the ones that are the people that, are on a certain trajectory in life.
Right.
Can't say that it could be working 50,000 to 100,000 or 1 million to 10 million, but they're on a certain trajectory. And because they understand that, they're able to recognize that this is something that, much like just feminism in general, this gives the bulk of the assets to the people who already own them. So the ballers, the people who are red pill aware, the guys like us, will be able to just not necessarily run rampant as if we want to, but we'll be able to run rampant with that insurance policy.
Woo! Wow. That's listen, man. Go ahead.
And the last thing I wanted, two little quick things. One, I seen a TikTok. I just wanted your input on it. I seen a TikTok. Don't know if it's a real successful TikToker, but some little, seemed like she was 21. She threw out this idea. She was saying something to the effect of, what if what if women could just literally sign up for the man that they want? Not like just walking around or walking the club, literally sign up. So let's say there's millions of women and they can't get nothing going in their life. But what if there's some type of petition or something like that that they can put in effect to say, okay, here's the man that I want. So that's much like a story that I thought that came out of Michigan a couple years ago about women kind of being select or being able to select which men that they want to be in a relationship with, even if they have no interactions with each other.
Wow.
I just wanted to it's real crazy to think that the only reason why I say that is because with this stuff with this male birth control that comes out, hopefully comes out and it's and it's completely effective.
I hope so too, man.
Because everything has a cost associated to it. When you affect your cost on your side, that's going to affect the cost on another side. So the government's going to have to make drastic measures because they can't rely on that 50, 100, 200 million. I don't know what they get a year in child support.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing a raw number out there. But if they don't get that and it doesn't stay on that trajectory that it needs to, they're going to have to make drastic changes.
Yeah.
And the only way that government can make drastic changes is because they can't get out here and force people like you and me to just run rampant in the street.
Yeah, exactly. They can't force guys. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Oh, shit, man. I thought we had more time. Damn. Man, that was a good conversation, man. Man, that was a good conversation. Okay. All right. Yeah, it looks like I ran out of time about 20 minutes ago. Christopher Timo with the $10 super chat says, appreciate your work, D. Thank you very, very much for that. With that, guys, that of course will bring, I think I'm going to upgrade my, my Blog Talk Radio. I'm gonna upgrade my Blog Talk Radio account to allow me more time because these are really, really good conversations. Andre Rivers says if birth rates get too low, they're going to develop a baby pregnancy farm that the government will fund and produce where they pay women to birth children and the government will also fund raising them. Wow. This is a game changer, man. This really, really is. I never thought I'd see something like this in my lifetime, but all right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of TSR Live on the Road from down here in sunny Miami, Florida. Thank you very much to all of the callers. Thank you very, very much to all of the super chatters. By the way, TSR Academy, I'm having a 50% off sale on all of my products. I was supposed to mention this at the top of the show. I always forget because I actually like doing the show. Go to tsracademy.com. You can get 50% off of everything. Womanese, the 49 Laws of Sharpe, all of that stuff. No, this is not an April Fool's joke. So get on over to TSR Academy. Go get on over to TSR Academy and get your hands on that stuff now. That's going to